What do we do with our feelings?
We hide them in our muscles.
And how do we hide our feelings better?
We get bigger muscles.
We get bigger muscles.
What's up guys, Brian here from Audio Geek. I'm back yet again with another review. I'm an audiophile from sunny South Africa. Today I have a very cool product. It is the Hidizs MS2 Pro. Now I do own the Hidizs MS2 and this one is the Pro version, and I just can't seem to find that MS2. I think I borrowed it to one of the guys at my audiophile gatherings that I host once every month or once every 2 months. I hold audiophile gatherings where I invite a bunch of audiophiles over and we listen, have a nice listening session there by a Starbucks, and we swap knowledge. They also bring gear if they've got something nice that they want me to listen to. It's a nice way to have a gathering around audio products. I do own a lot of Hidizs, and there's some of the Hidizs products that I use a lot myself that stays in my private collection. The MS1 Galaxy is my favorite earphone for gym. I use that 4 times a week. For me there's no better fit, and it's also cheap. So if you lose it, if you break it, you can buy 5 pairs. So, but this review is not about the MS1 Galaxy. This review is about the MS2 Pro. And when I saw the pictures of the monitor and how it looks, I was already very curious because it differs from the MS2, the original. The package took about 21 days to reach me here in South Africa, and as you guys know, South Africa is the very bottom of the world, so stuff really takes long to get here, but this was 3 weeks and it was here. A nice thing about being a reviewer, which you don't get when you're just a normal client buying from these companies, is online marketing. Online sales and stuff and online websites has made it easier for us to buy stuff and get stuff to us, but you lose the whole human element. Now, being a reviewer is quite nice because you get to deal with the people inside the companies and you get to know them. And the Hidizs staff has always been very friendly and very helpful. I've never had any QC issues with any of their products. So, but me myself, I've only ever gotten good service from them. I mean, Jessie, their sales and marketing girl there, oh, she's a real sweetheart. I love dealing with Jessie. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. What I do when I receive a package from one of these companies is I just take the little cellophane part, which the boxes normally come wrapped in. I take that part off and I open it up like this, and then I just put it here somewhere nice, and I take a picture for my Facebook group, just to show a new product that I've gotten in. I don't really open this stuff until this unboxing part. So what you're basically seeing now is what I'm seeing for the first time beneath the faceplates. So it's a nice cardboard, black, normal Hidizs box, sturdy. I don't think this will get damaged in the post. There's a logo, Hidizs logo, and then there's a very nice picture of the faceplates. Got HD audio here, the name. On the side you've also got 3 little monitors, and as per normal at the back you've got the specs. I see there's Chinese and there's English. So let's get into this box and see what we've got, guys. My very first initial impression when I saw these, when I opened it up for the Facebook picture, was that if I would want to buy a girl a pair of in-ear monitors, a girl that's not an audiophile but maybe your girlfriend or something like that, I would really buy something like this, because let me tell you guys, this is very beautiful. Obviously, you know by now I like metal, so there's chrome sticking out here, and I'm immediately impressed. But we will get into the details on these beautiful faceplates. When you lift that out, we have got another box, and let's see what's inside here. So I just flipped out the box. There's your instruction, the usual instruction thingies. There's your date and SNN. You can write on what is the date you got it. Oh, this is something I've not seen before. They package the tips like this. And in my country, South Africa, we put meat on skewers like this, and we call it a sousati. So in my language, Afrikaans, we call it a sousati. So I'm going to call these sousati thingies from now on. Then we've got this leather type carrying case. It's pretty standard. It's got these magnetic thingies on the top, which you just press open. Inside here, we've got a pretty standard cable. I see they gave mine in 4.5 millimeter balanced, 4.4 millimeter balanced. So this means I'm going to be listening to this with a lot of my DAC amps, also my DAP. And oh, look at this. We've got tuning nozzles, guys. Me personally, I don't like equalizing sound. I don't know if it comes from the analog days, the analog versus digital, when I was still a lot into vinyl, and I used to hate digital actually, and now I only use digital. I mean, I've got no analog sources anymore. So, but still, that part of me still comes out a bit, and for me personally, when I want to equalize something, which is audiophile blasphemy, by the way, I prefer these things like the screw-on nozzles you screw on, and also tuning switches. I like that. If I have to choose between switches and nozzles, I like the nozzles more. Those switches are plasticky, and this seems a lot more legit. I like metal. So yeah, tuning nozzles is cool. And that's what we get inside here, guys. So I think we can move along to the look and build section. And the aesthetics department, Hidizs has just scored a huge win here with me. Guys, this is beautiful. I don't think we're getting a nice autofocus here from our webcam, but it looks like it's an all chrome, and then you've got a leather part here in the middle. I've got the orange one. You get them in 3 colors. It's a orange and a blue and then a black. I think that black one, black's my favorite color, so I think that black one. But this is still very nice. It just breaks all the chrome a bit. It's not that heavy, but you can still feel it's metal. See, check for finger marks, because a lot of times with these chrome type in-ear monitors, I've got a few of those, then they leave finger marks, and then the chrome go dull. You know, it's like one of these chrome taps or any chrome material. Yeah, there's a little bit of marks, but not that much. This is really beautiful looking shells, and the faceplates looks amazing. Hidizs what they do is they normally do the theme of their monitors in some sort of animal. I mean, if you take the MP145, that's in the form of a whale. So this one was designed in the form of a rhino horn. And in my country, South Africa, the rhino is one of our big 5 animals. So this feels a bit special. If you go into the cable, the connectors that connect on top into the monitor also has a Rhino shape. I don't know if we can catch it here. But it's not the normal round or that normal P shape or type of connectors that you get. I really like this. This is a really nice touch by Hidizs. If we look at the cable, it's not the thinnest cables I have seen, but it's still a relatively thin cable, especially the top part here that goes to the monitors. It's not that cheap plastic that you used to get on the very first in-ear monitors. I know when I started out, I'm not going to name the brand, but when I started out, those cables used to last like I think 2 months here in the South African climate, and then it goes completely hard. You have to throw them away. So, but this is not that type of plastic. I can feel this is durable. They sent mine in a 4.4 millimeter balanced. If you've got a nice metal connector, you can see it's gold plated. Let's see how it coils. This coils nicely. Yeah, so a pretty decent cable. If we look at the pouch, I don't really like these type of pouches, but at the price that this is going for, and all the stuff you are getting with having a hard carrying case is not really a gripe I will have with the MS2 Pro. You can just, carrying cases is so cheap. If you really want to, then you can just get when you buy your next in-ear monitors, I think in South African rand it's like 20 rand. I don't even know how much dollars that's. $1, $3. You can get $1, $2, $3. You can get a very nice canvas carrying case. The tuning nozzles are metal and they are shiny. And they've also got little color indicators on them. I see you get the black ones, and then there is red, and then obviously the ones are on here are transparent. So these 3 tuning nozzles are basically, one is for bass and one is to get balanced sound. And what's really nice about this is that you are actually getting 3 earphones into one, and that you must keep in mind when buying a pair of earphones, because if you've got so much versatility with this thing to listen to different music genres, if let's for instance say you're in the mood for some bassy electronic dance music and stuff like that, you can just slap on the bass nozzles and then you will have some nice bass. If I look at the tips that they provided, I can already see these white silicone ones. They are balanced tips. They are not white bore, they are balanced tips. And then on this little society over here, we've got the black tips. They are narrow bore. So obviously if I'm going to be in the mood for some bass music, I'm going to put on the bass nozzles, and I'm going to use the black silicone ear tips. And then hopefully we'll have a nice big bass sound. So yeah, that's it for the look and build. I see the driver inside. The driver is used. This is a hybrid in-ear monitor. It's a 10.2 millimeter dual magnetic, and it's a nano coated diaphragm. The BA driver is I think in the original MS2, that BA driver came from Knowles, but this one comes from Hidizs themselves, and it's a silver core BA driver. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to jog my memory back from listening to the original MS2, but I think there's going to definitely be a difference in sound with this. Also, I did talk about the Rhino type of design. Yeah, that's about it. My MS2 Pro was sent to me in a 4.4 millimeter balanced connection. You get them in two. You get them in the 3.5 millimeter and in the 4.4 millimeter. I do have a lot of options. If you don't have a lot of options, like DAC amps and DACs with balance port, or headphone amplifiers with 4.4 millimeter balance ports, and you're more of a type of person that's just going to use it with your mobile phone, and you have a 3.5 millimeter jack in your phone, then this is for you, the 3.5 millimeter. If you are like me and you have all those other stuff, like for instance, I'm even going to listen to it on my Adderley Kern. I've got my AK 240 MK2 Adderley Kern, and that's a 2.5 millimeter that it's got on the DAB. So, but I've got a connector that just gives you 4.4 on the one and 2.5 on the other side. So there's really not I see there's not a USB-C type. I'm not very worried about that. I like it more to use my own DAC amps and stuff like that. So you can even hook this up to your laptop, to your PC, anything that's got a 3.5 millimeter port, or you've got something that can convert that termination into 3.5 millimeters will work for you. I am going to be listening to them for a week, and if I have to do a little forecast, I think that what I'm seeing here with the 3 earphones in one, I think I'm going to use a bit of a neutral DAC of mine, but I will vary between my different stuff and report back. If we look at the specs on the Hidizs MS2 Pro, I actually forgot to tell you guys how these fit. I've not fitted them, and I usually do that in my look and build part, but I'm sure you will forgive me. After you hit 40 years of age, your car's check engine light starts coming on, so sometimes I forget things. But let's fit these and see how they fit. I've got the red tuning nozzles on, and the black bass tips, because when I'm going to start listening to these, I always test for bass first, you know. So this is the configuration I'm going to start with. The fit is exquisite, guys. What I like, I've got big ears, so I think I've got bipolar when it comes to this, because sometimes I want them to protrude out of my ears, like the MP145 from Hidizs, which is a big and bulky earphone. It's a manly earphone. But other times, like this is not protruding a lot, and the fit is really, really nice. This is also why I'm saying buy this for a female, for a present. You will be loved. I really want to give you that recommendation. But let's look at the specs. As I already said, we've got the 1BA, 1DD drivers. The dynamic drivers are 10.2 millimeter. The BA is from Hidizs. I mentioned that earlier, and that's a nice thing, man. I like when these companies start producing their own parts. It shows progress. It shows progress for the companies. All right, the shells is a zinc alloy injection molding. I told you guys about the 3 filters. The frequency response is 20 Hz to 40 kHz. So I really think if you put the high frequency tuning nozzles on, and you've got those balanced tips, then we're gonna hear some really high highs, if I can call it that. The sensitivity is 111 dBs and the impedance is 17 ohms. I can tell you right off the bat, this is going to be very, very easy to drive. You're going to drive this thing to rock concert levels with the weakest cell phone that's got the weakest amplifier inside. if you've got sensitivity and impedance like this, you must also be very careful not to put it on very powerful headphone amplifiers, because you are going to get some static. And I would rather use it on low gain as well, just for the safety of your own ears, you know, and also to protect the driver. You don't want to go blow out very sensitive drivers because you've got too much power going to them. The rest of the specs is pretty standard. 0.78mm connector. The cable material is high purity oxygen free copper cable. And that's it for the specs, guys. And we are back with the sound impressions. Now, from my personal point of view, when I review an in-ear monitor for sound, if I have to give an example, I can't judge a sports car like a Ferrari on its abilities to do 4x4 trails, if you understand what I'm saying. So we're going to have to look at what did Hidizs had in mind with the design, and also how is that equivalent to the sound. The early bird price for South Africans is 918 Rand. That's under 1,000 Rand, guys. And but even at the normal price is going to be 1,230 Rand. Even at that price, the MS2 Pro is a serious contender. So I think we're going to get right back in with the sound, and we will start with the bass. I can only be as honest as possible. So I had the black tips in, and I have to say I have very big ear canals. I think maybe we can say my ears has had a lot of penetration with in-ear monitors, of course. So even the large tips, and it happens sometimes that even the large tips don't fit me. So I added some pin and liquor orange tips, and I had the red bass nozzles on. But I have to show you guys this, because the orange leather on the MS2 Pro and the orange of the pin and liquor ear tips goes seriously cool together. Look at this. So if you are like me with very big ear canals, then get yourself a pair of those pendants. They're going to sort that problem out for you. And also, if you don't have a problem with big ear canals, then still buy those pin and liquor orange tips, because they look really cool on the Hidizs MS2 Pro. When I tried finding some songs to listen to for bass, I immediately, when I looked at the graph, I thought that this was going to be a very, very good IEM for electronic dance music. So there's this song by Charlotte de Witte, and it's called High Street. Now that song is a very, very fast bass electronic dance music song, so it's got a lot of mid bass punch and slam, and then there are also some nice deep sub bass rumbles. So if you are into electronic music, that is a very, very nice song to listen to if you're listening for bass. The MS2 Pro, man, I'm not gonna say it's a bass head earphone, but seriously it borders on bass head. Those rumbles in the background, they were amazing. For me, the song has more mid bass punch than sub bass rumbles, but those rumbles really stood out. So and then I immediately realized this earphone is for electronic dance music. If that's your type of genre, this is definitely it. There's another song, it's called Orbit Motion by Space 92, and holy hell, the same thing there. It's got hard hitting punch, and it's got rumbles, and this MS2 Pro with the bass configuration, with the bass tuning nozzles, and some bass tips, and also with the 4.4 balanced connection that I have, there's so much more control on that woofer. Another song, and this is one of my favorite EDM songs, it's by Kevin de Vries, and it's called Metro. Now on that song, when I had the MS2 Pro in, it sounded almost like a clubbing experience in my ear, I kid you not. It's one of my favorite EDM songs, and I really enjoyed it on the MS2. So after I've listened to those songs and I established that the MS2 Pro has some serious bass, there's a song by Joel Fletcher. I discovered that one through TikTok. The song's name is Bang, and the song has some seriously banging bass, hard hitting bass, and the MS2 kept up very, very well. If we look at bass from other genres, classical bass, I did not really want to play a whole concert, symphony, orchestra, because there's too many instruments. So I opted for something with a lot less instruments, and there's a song, it's a Metallica cover, Nothing Else Matters, and it's done by Apocalyptica, and there's 4 cellos in there. So that's the ideal song if you want to listen to cello bass, and if you also don't want to be a nerd and listen to classical music, that is a very nice song to test that. And those cellos went very deep. I can recall, it is as if you can, and the bass is also very defined, because you can hear the string on the cello being struck, and then you can hear the reverb inside the box. You can hear that very clearly. When I moved to my audiophile music, Jennifer Warnes, one of my favorite lady singers, she has a song, it's called Way Down Deep, and I mention it in a lot of my reviews. Now that song has got a seriously big drum that's being played in the background, and on the MS2 Pro it really sounded big. It sounded like a big drum, very natural. If you look at your rock type of music, I started off with some modern stuff like Muse, that song Madness by Muse. That thing has got this, it's almost like a shocking earthquake-like type of bass, and I actually could feel a little vibration in my ears. So that driver was vibrating out of its shell almost. And the reverb, there's some sort of bass reverb in the song. I don't know if it's a synthesizer trick or something, but it sounds like a bass that's being reverbed. And the MS2 Pro produced that perfectly. I also listened to some older rock, and Fleetwood Mac Go Your Own Way. It's one of my favorite songs. I don't know if people know the story behind it. There's this band Fleetwood Mac, and there's a guy and a girl in the band, and they're also in a relationship, and then they get into fights, and then they write songs to each other, and then they perform it. So Go Your Own Way is a song that was written for Stevie Nicks by Lindsey Buckingham. And in the song, there's also a part where he sings, backing up, shacking up is all you want to do. So, it's like when you're in that relationship, that make-up, break-up stuff. Now, if you find a YouTube video with the live version, you'll see there's an extended drum line in the beginning, and it sounded phenomenal on the MS2 Pro. Then another one of my favorite rock songs of all time is more hard rock. I mean, AC/DC is hard rock. It's The Razor's Edge. But on The Razor's Edge, the normal album, that song is very tame and it's very slow. But there was a 1991 live album, and The Razor's Edge on there is awesome. It's much better to me than the studio version. So there's this, you get Angus standing there in darkness, and then he starts his guitar intro, and then there are, it's about 1 minute 13 into the song, there's a big bass drums coming in, and I also always listen for that, and on the MS2 Pro it sounded real, and it sounded natural, like I remember from watching the video, because what music does, it triggers your memory. So when I hear that bass drum roll, it immediately takes me to the videos I've watched of the concert, and I can see those big rolls, and I can see Angus playing there. So bass wise, guys, if you like bass in your music, get the MS2 Pro. Guys, before we get into the myths, I would just like to correct myself. I mentioned that the red nozzles are the bass ones. It's not the black ones are for bass. I did listen to bass on the black ones. I just mentioned it wrongly in the part about bass. So please remember, the black ones is for bass, the red ones is a more balanced one. So while we are getting into the mids now, if you want to listen for mids, then obviously you're going to want a bit of a more balanced sound. So I used the white wider bore silicone nozzles, the balanced ones, and then I also used the red balanced tips. The MS2 Pro is a V-shaped sound, and the mids is a bit recessed, but not that much. And we can also even that out because of the nozzles that we are fitting and the type of tips that we are using to balance things out by lowering the treble and lowering the bass a bit. So I started out by listening to a song by Doug Macleod, and it's called Bring It On Home, and it's a type of folk bluesy type of song. It's also the type of music that Hidizs recommends you listen to on the MS2 Pro. So when a company recommends a genre, then I like to follow their recommendation. So this song by Doug Macleod, not just the mids, everything sounded warm. In that song you've got Doug's voice. He's got that bluesy type of folky type of voice, and the MS2 reproduced that perfectly. So this is made for that type of music with this these nozzles on. If I look at male vocals a bit more, Jeff Buckley took one of the greatest songs ever written by Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah, and he covered it, and for me it's not a lot that it happens. I'm a bit of a purist that I like covers over the original, but this version of Jeff Buckley really, when you've got an in-ear monitor that's good with mids, it evokes a lot of emotion, and the MS2 Pro did exactly that. Jeffrey's voice was up there in its own time and space, and I really enjoyed that song with the MS2 Pro. And the other thing you must just do when you've got the red tips on, I had to lower the volume. So definitely those bass nozzles, they turn the mids and the treble down when I looked for female voices, I was looking for some sort of pop because I had a feeling that the MS2 Pro was going to be good with pop music as well. So there's this beautiful young lady. Her name is Halsey, and that song of hers, Without Me, it evokes a lot of emotion in me for some reason. It's as if that song speaks to my soul, if I can call it that. And boy, she sang me into a frenzy. I think that girl's gonna go far in the music industry. Also, getting back to for me, my personal music taste, I listen to a lot more male vocals than female vocals, and I just had to do something for Ozzy Osbourne, and I listened to Dreamer, and with Ozzy passing away, and he had a huge impact on my life when I was a teen, and when I discovered heavy metal music, and it all began for me with Black Sabbath Volume 4. So listening to Ozzy Osbourne sing Dreamer, yeah, it makes you think about life in general, and where you are heading. So the MS2 with these red nozzles produces a nice warm sound that really invokes a lot of emotion within you. So I want to say rest in peace, Ozzy, man, you're a legend. Mids on the MS2, although a bit recessed, with that red nozzles, sounds really nice. All the different instruments, middle part of the piano, all the songs that I listen to. Look, in my reviews I only mention a few songs because you don't have so much time to talk about the sound. I don't want to make 2-hour long videos because TikTok and YouTube Reels and Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels and all these short videos has shortened our attention span so much. I mean, I get it a lot of myself. Start watching a movie, 15 minutes on board. It's our attention span. All these short clips and stuff, it's shortening our attention span tremendously. So I've tried cutting down on my screen time, especially for these shorter type of videos, a lot. Now we can get into the treble. If we have a look at the treble, I obviously used the white tips that was recommended for treble, and you want to listen for the higher type of instruments. There's one by Hadouk Trio, Soft Landing. There's an harmonica and a flute inside there. Harmonica is one of my favorite instruments for treble, and also those flute, because they can go nice and high. On the song, it was not bright at all, like this ear screeching bright. It lacked a little bit of sparkle, but it was still, it's just under bright, but not hurt your ears type of bright. And it was also crystal clear. There's another song that I like to use for treble. It's man, it's a weird song. It's by Laurie Anderson, and it's called Born Never Asked. What a weird name, and she's a real weird lady. But I like her songs. There's violin in there, and there's also a bit of marimbas, and it also tests the speed of the speaker or driver or whatever you're using. And I have to say, guys, that BA driver from Hidizs, it really played its part. It kept up very well. When you have sometimes when you have a bigger driver, like a single driver configuration, you've got a 10.2mm driver. Sometimes if it's a heavier material used on the driver itself, they battle to keep up with very fast treble songs. But on this song, I'm gonna leave all the songs in the description of the video. You can check these songs out. Check that one out if you like weird music and you want to listen for a bit of treble. Try that one. Also, I am a very big Queen fan, and a nice song for treble is always Bohemian Rhapsody. those piano, those very high piano notes. When I want to listen for piano, I like to use that song. The piano, it sounded warmish to me with this configuration. I don't know why, but I liked it. I liked that sound. More than the piano, the cymbals stood out in Bohemian Rhapsody with this configuration. So I said, let me try and test the piano a bit more, because this was tickling my mind a bit. So I put on one of my favorite jazz albums. I'm going to put the album name, and it's something else from Cannonball Adderley. Man, that song, that album is so good. You can't just listen to one song. You have to listen to all the songs. It's the type of album if you've had a hot day at work. And for me personally, when I've had a hot day at the workshop, I come home, I pour myself a nice good quality whiskey, and I put this album on. And if you've got a good set of in-ear monitors that's made for jazz, then it helps you relax, man. Puts you in a great mood, gets you ready for bed in a great way. So if you're a jazz lover, then definitely this MS2 Pro is for you. If we look at the technicalities, the sound states for me on that same Cannonball Adderley album, I know the sound states on that album very well, because it's like one of my favorite jazz albums, so I listen to it a lot, and I'm quite used to where everything should be. And the sound states wasn't white, it was between white and normal. There is a nice sound states there. The transients, I did a really cool thing. When I always choose classical music for transients. I chose 1812 by Tchaikovsky, and man, it kept up. The MS2 kept up very well with those transients on that album. I listened to the whole recording. I just cheated at the end, because at the Canon shots I fitted the pen and liquor orange tips again, and the black nozzles for bass, and oh boy, it almost blew my ears out. So watch out when you're listening to that song. Careful with the volume, eh? The Pratt, the bass reading and timing. For me, normally when I listen for Pratt, you want songs that's going to get your foot tapping. So it's normally, I can say, your everyday favorites, like your pop songs and those type of things they play on the radio, and anthems and stuff like that. But for me, the best Pratt was EDM music. This MS2 Pro, with those tips and the black nozzles, man, it's made for EDM music. If you're a fan, then definitely. But I got the biggest Pratt. I wanted to shake my hands, because I was like almost in a concert or a rave or something. So Pratt, pretty amazing. To come to the conclusion, for me, once again, Hidizs produced a really, really good earphone. The MK12 Taurus is a phenomenal. It's a really phenomenal earphone, high-end sound at a steal of a price. I must actually do a video on that one. I'll take my written review, and I'll do I think it deserves a video review as well. With the MS2 Pro, they did a phenomenal all-rounder, also at a steal, especially for South Africans. Under R1,000 for a quality earphone with 3 different sound signatures. It's a really good price, guys. Also at the normal price, it still makes sense. Who should buy it? If you're getting into audio, portable audio, and you see this video, do not, if you don't have the money, rather ask your mom and dad if you can't get your Christmas money beforehand, and then get this. I would say it's a good starting point. Under 1,000 rand, it's a good starting point. Also, audiophiles, you can buy this. You won't expect this type of sound at this price. For me, it's amazing. Jazz sounds really, really well. So my final conclusion would be, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Definitely. If I'm stuck on an island and I just have this MS2 Pro, I would be quite happy for the rest of my life. You can listen to all music genres with this thing, so it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it is well done. Guys, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch my review. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. Bottom right is the subscribe button. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up in the comments. We can also join my Facebook group. A lot of cool guys there, lots of information, lots of nice products.